I'm Reagan Ward, and I'm the Education Workforce Coordinator here at the South Bend Regional Chamber. And I'm excited to welcome you to our 2024 Explore Building Trades Career Chat with our guests from IBEW. So let's get started. Mike, do you want to start? And then we'll go to Jason. Do you just want to kind of tell me who you are and what you do at IBEW?
Okay, so I am Michael Lita. I'm with the IBEW. Been with them over 37 years. I am what is called the business manager, financial secretary. For layman's terms, I guess it would be the CFO of a company. But in our IBEW terms, it's business manager, financial secretary.
And Jason?
Good morning. My name's Jason Piantek. I am the assistant business manager for IBEW 153. I've been in the IBEW for 26 years now, and I work on a daily basis with Mike.
All right, thank you. So how did you all get to where you are today? Did you start out as an apprentice and then kind of move through the ranks of IBEW, or how'd that work out?
Well, exactly right. I'll speak for myself, but Jason's path is very similar. That we both started through our apprenticeship, so obviously our time frame's a little bit different. My apprenticeship was a 4-year apprenticeship, and then not soon after I graduated and went to a 5-year apprenticeship, which Jason went through. From there, then we continued on through our paths. Jason and I have met through working on jobs together, kind of had a common goal, what we would like to see with the IBEW in this local, where it would go for. So when an opportunity came to our position that we're in is elected, so when it was the opportunity to run for selection, Jason and I and another person got together and put a group together and decided we wanted to try to take the local where we wanted to in the best of terms. And so happened our membership voted us in. So we got to that position as through the membership.
Awesome. Jason?
Yeah, I mean, similar to what Mike said, I started my through the apprenticeship and working out in the field in the industry. Mike and I formed a relationship, and like Mike said, we decided to run. We've been in the office for almost 5 years now.
Gotcha. Thank you. So, would you mind sharing a little bit about your apprenticeship programs? Like, how does one get started? What's that process like? When are applications? Anything that you can share about that?
Oh, okay. So great question. Applications are going on now through April, and then they take a lull. All right. So you go to JATC153.com to fill out an application to get on. All applications are done online. And once that procedure is done, then you'll be required to send in your high school transcripts. So it's either a GED or high school graduation that's required. Mm-hmm. And also you need to take college algebra high school algebra 1 and 2 with a passing grade of C or better. That's a requirement to get on there. Once that's all put together and put in, you'll go through a basic mathematics and English comprehension test that if you graduated high school, you have no problem passing that. And then you're set up for an interview process. And then it's a process. It just not fill out an application. You start tomorrow. So, yeah, we want to make sure you're qualified. Then through the interview process, thing that's unique about our interview process, it's a setup of 4 electrical contractors and 4 members of the IBEW around a table. So it's a group effort to hire out these apprentices. So.
Gotcha. Thank you. And are there multiple applicants in this interview, or is it just one applicant with like the 4 or 5 of you guys?
There's actually 8 of us, so don't get scared when you do, because it can be intimidating when you come walk in a room and there's 8 people sitting at a table, right? So that's the biggest thing I say is catch your breath and don't get intimidated. But there are 8 of them, and usually we do between 12 and 15 applicants at a time, because we feel if we start doing more than that, then it's not fair to the applicants, or obviously you start getting drained or tired of that process, so you don't give them their due process. So we want to make sure that every applicant gets their chance to get in.
Gotcha. So once someone gets accepted, what can they expect as far as classwork goes or scheduling? Like, what does that look like?
Oh, it is a pretty structured schedule. I'm not gonna lie. You go to school currently anywhere 2 days a week. from
Mhm.
5:30 to 9:30, either Monday to Wednesday or Tuesday and Thursday are your school days. And then you work full time during the day, Monday to Friday, usually 7 to 3:30. So that's already a tight schedule. And then you really need to study as much as you are in school. So that
Mhm.
kind of fills in the other days of the week you're not in school. So it doesn't allow you for a lot of free time, but it keeps you in a structured process, which in the long term pays off, because when you work out in the field, you kind of need that structure as well, going through the jobs that you will be working on.
Gotcha. Thank you.
At the same
So,
time, though, I can add on to Mike, it's, not very dissimilar from, when guys go to school and if they're involved with athletics, they go to work and then
mhm.
they go to school. But they also, upon completion of their apprenticeship, they get an associate's degree from Ivy Tech in applied sciences.
Okay.
And then they'll also have they should be licensed in the state of Michigan, since we cover 2 counties in Michigan. Indiana doesn't offer licensing, but they do end up getting licenses, and they'll have finish with an associate's degree and a Michigan license.
Gotcha. Thank you. So does that mean they also have to go to Ivy Tech to take classes, or are those all done through your training center?
It all comes to our apprenticeship.
We're associated with Ivy Tech, so yes, it comes through our apprenticeship, and
Gotcha.
they will graduate with the Ivy Tech graduates. Walk down the aisle, mom and dad will be quite proud, because, as Jason mentioned, that's a college degree that you
Mhm.
think in the trades, but no, I got a college degree on top of it, so it does set up your future.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing about your apprenticeship program and kind of what that looks like. So, jumping back to one of the questions on our little question sheet here is, what's the best part of your job and what makes you go to work every day?
Well, working in the field, the best part of the job is that it's challenging, because if you know anything about electrical, light fixtures, type of electrical systems put in the buildings, everything is constantly changing and updates. So you're
Mhm.
always learning on the job, even though you might be what we call a seasoned veteran. There's things out there you haven't seen, and then also it's working with your fellow coworkers. You build a bond with them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Through years, I mean, there might be times where Jason and I might have worked together for maybe a year straight, and then we just don't get together for 4 or 5 years, because that's just the way the work happens. That his job went one way and my job path took me another way. So that's kind of the uniqueness about not electricians, but the trades in general. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
we talk to the retirees, and it's not so much the work they miss; it's just the bonding of being around other people. And your coworkers.
Yeah, community is certainly important.
It certainly is.
And it also gives people, I mean, not just in the electrical industry, but all construction. I mean, it gives them a sense of pride knowing that, they drive by. And if you want to know, how do you know if someone worked on the job? Well, they're going to tell you when you drive by it. I worked on that, and I had they played a part in that, and that means something. It gives a lot of people a sense of purpose.
Mhm.
Or in my case, when you ride by and they're tearing down that building down, because I've been around for a little while. Man, I worked on that building when I was a first year apprentice, and now it's coming down. So it might tell you something, but again, as Jason mentioned, it is, you ride with an electrician in a car, I guarantee you they'll point out what jobs they've worked on.
So, if you don't mind me asking, what's the coolest project that you worked on? Or I guess the one that you're the most proud of?
I don't know. There's been so many projects that I worked on. The one of the most challenging ones I could say was before I came into office here. I worked. Everybody knows about the dog food plant by Marion High School,
Oh,
and
yep.
oh yeah, so they were updating that system, and we were challenged with the modernization of the plant without allowing the plant to shut down. So that was very painstaking, detailed laying out process. So
Yeah.
we accomplished our mission, and it's quite the project. So
Sounds like I bet it didn't smell the best either with all that pet
yeah,
food
well,
going
my
on.
dogs liked it when I came home. They certainly did, but nobody else did.
Jason?
For me, I spent probably about half my career at Notre Dame, and working on the stadium, working in the football locker room, and
Hmm.
working on stuff like that is kind of neat. I've got to I got to meet past coaches, got to meet baseball, whatever coach, if you're working on whatever facility, usually you get to meet the coach, and every once in a while they'll give you a little bit of swag,
Oh, that's
some
nice.
stuff. But it's kind of cool to, not everybody always gets to see, what the inside of the Notre Dame locker room looks like other than on TV and just going all throughout Notre Dame. So, but the stadium project was pretty cool to, to be out there. You had some great views being that high and being a part of it. So that I always enjoyed working at Notre Dame.
Yeah, I bet. Um, so kind of wrapping up our chat here is, do you have any advice for those that are interested in a career in the trades, whether it be through you guys or anybody else?
Yeah, first of all, I would say practice the interview either with your peers or with your family. That's
Mm-hmm.
very important. When you come, and for instance, for us, and I believe all of the others are close to the same, is that first impression you got is what you're going to give to the people when you walk into that room for the interview. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess what I'm saying is don't like you just woke up and came out of bed and just ran right to the interview. You know what I mean? Make sure you come in a neat business attire. Practice what you're going to talk about. So you're not in a chair, rocking a chair back and forth, pulling on your ear, those type of things. And don't be disappointed if it doesn't work out the first time,
Mm-hmm.
because we have Jason, help me out, what, 400 or 500 applications maybe this year, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, 300 this year. We've had 700 over the last year.
Yes.
That is
So,
a very large number.
Very large number, and we have this year we're about 80 to 100 positions. So unfortunately not everybody's going to get in. So don't give up on that yet. You know what I mean? It took me 3 times before I finally got into the apprenticeship, so it just I know you're disappointed. It's just nature to be that way, but please don't give up on it. We have other opportunities if you don't get an apprenticeship as well, that you can contact us, and we can tell you about those entry-level programs as well, to maybe kind of get your feet used to the construction trade and see, really, is this something that I want to do or not?
Now, so kind of going back to what you just said, does it help your application if you have previous construction experience, whether it be high school classes or a current job that you have?
Yeah, building trades. If you could take the building trade, it does help, or if you do have some construction experience, because, it gives you a little step up, because when you have a person that first time steps on a construction project, it could be a little daunting, you know what I mean? Especially, I remember my first time I seen this big crane truck, and I just walked out of project, stood and I looked at it watch it do its work for 5 minutes, and somebody bumped me up. What are you doing? So those type of things that, yeah, if you've been around a little bit, it does help. It's not necessarily requirement to be on there, to be an apprentice, but anything that you can do, as we mentioned, the amount of numbers that you can have a little more edge than the next person next to you, that might put you in the difference of getting a job or not.
Awesome.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of Mike, we've had people that come in, they don't know the difference between a hammer and a screwdriver, and they've, but that's what we're there for. We'll teach them that. The biggest thing is, just like in any other position, just, make sure, promptness and attentiveness, make sure you're there on time, and make sure you show up for the available hours, and you'll get the training that you need to make a long career out of this.
Awesome. Well, thank you two. Going to the chat here, is there anybody that has any questions that they'd like to ask? And we got one here that says, is there a project or accomplishment that makes IBEW unique?
Well, I think back, the one thing that makes us real unique, there's actually a few of them throughout the area, right? Cook Nuclear Plant, that was built by the IBEW, Cleveland Cliffs, that building there was built by IBEW. AM General, again, built by IBEW. And then as the massive projects that we work at Notre Dame, I could probably list you 100 from the stadium on down, that was all built by IBEW. So to say there's one, that's kind of hard, but I'm proud of everyone that we've worked on.
And we also have, what's going on, just to the west of us in New Carlisle. I mean, we have some of the largest projects that are getting ready to take off in the country. I mean, and these are, the battery plant was a very short-lived, largest project to ever be worked in this area, to be, quickly overturned by a data campus. So it'll be, these are new, with the growth that we're experiencing right now. This is new to everybody, but this will definitely have a, mark of IBEW on it.
Yeah, for sure. You guys are absolutely going to have your hands full here pretty soon.
Yes.
All right. Are there any other questions in the chat? We'll wait a moment or two here as people type, if people type.
But if you're not sure, you can call our apprenticeship or call the hall and we'll direct you to the apprenticeship, and we can talk to you, or they can talk to you about more details specifically about the apprenticeship as well, and give you the do's and don'ts and the things you absolutely do need. And we'll work you through that and make sure you get everything what you require to get moving forward.
And just to clarify, can you say your website again and the application deadline?
Okay, the application is April at jtc153.com.
Thank you. All righty. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah, you can call the hall here too, and we can direct you over there as well.
Sounds good. All right, so it looks like there are no questions in the chat. So thank you so much for your time and sharing everything about IBEW. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
Students, be sure to check out all the building trades career chats that we're going to be adding to the landing page to learn more from other employers, educators, and community partners who are providing career pathway support and opportunities in the region. And don't forget to share what you find interesting with the adults in your life. All right. Thank you so much and see you later.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day. Bye.
You too.